Well, hello folks, this is Jamil Sweat for Gunstork Reviews. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona at the world headquarters for Archangel Manufacturing. And I'm here with Mike. How you doing, Mike?
How you doing, Jamil?
Awesome. And today we have our Springfield Armory M1A Scout Squad rifle, which we're going to modify with the Archangel Manufacturing precision M1A stock.
Yeah, the AA M1A.
Awesome. And the only reason we're doing this is because the stock is too beautiful, like I said in another video, and I don't want to damage it by taking it to the range and shooting it and dragging it around through the desert out there up at gun site.
It's one of the big benefits. You're going to be able to preserve your original wood, yeah.
And this is beautiful. I love the smell of linseed oil in the morning, man. So first things first, we're going to make sure this rifle is clear. We have the chamber flag on it, but of course we always look at it visually and digitally. There's nothing in there.
Safety is important.
Okay, and I am going to hand it to you.
All right.
Mike, how do you do this?
Okay, so original Springfield M1A, remove the stock trigger assembly by pulling the trigger guard away and down from the bottom of the action like that. And then I'm going to grab this and remove it from the assembly. Flip it around. I'm going to take and pull the action out of the top of the stock. Remove the action from the stock, then put that aside so it can be preserved in case you ever want to go back to original configuration for sale feature. If you have a unmarked stock like that, it'll look like brand new, but you'll still get to enjoy the function of it and shooting it in the Archangel stock.
We're going to talk about the function of the stock a
Sure.
little later once
And the
it's all
benefits,
put together.
yeah.
The benefits, awesome.
Sure.
And of course, before we start, Mike, you do sell this stock in 3 different flavors,
Absolutely, yeah. We have the AA M1A, which is the black one, and we have the AA M1A-OD, which is the OD green, and we have the AA M1A-DT, which is the desert tan model.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's go ahead and do it.
Okay, so when you get the stock out of the package, what you'll notice immediately is there's a block in the stock here, and that's to prevent shrinkage or change in the shape of the stock during shipping. So if you remove the stock from the action, you'll want to put this block back in if it's not going to go back in 4 or 5 days. So first thing you do is remove this block. And the material we use is a hydroscopic nylon with some carbon fiber added. We've been developing material for years, but this one we're really proud of the material. But one of the issues with nylon is that it is hydroscopic, so it'll absorb moisture over time, and it tends to swell, which is great for stocks because it'll actually form fit to the action over time. And you'll see after we get this installed, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So we'll get right away started. What you want to do first is take the action itself and hang it right over the front of the stock, and you're going to make sure it's pulled back far enough. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just take and wrap the butt stock on a solid surface and kind of seat the action in there, and then these lugs should push right down into the recoil lugs and be mounted in the stock. Now at this point you're going to notice a little bit of gap between the stock and the receiver. Now this is intentional. We've designed this to put a little bit of tension on the action to increase accuracy.
Okay.
We did a lot of R&D on this stock under development, and we've been able to get a stock Springfield M1A to shoot sub MOA without doing anything else than installing this stock and using good ammo. And you can do this with one person, but it's a little bit easier the first time with 2.
Okay, that's right. So a good combination, well-fit stock and good ammo makes good shooting.
Absolutely. Now, for fitting this trigger guard, a lot of times there will be some fitting required, but not always. Springfield does install these stocks at the factory, and they require very little fitting. You're going to want to line up this slot, I'm going to line up this groove with this slot that's inside the action there is what you're looking for. Now, there's a sear slot in the back of the stock, but it's a little bit deceiving. That's where most Springfields are located, but you'll get the sear started down in that slot, and then the trigger is actually going to move forward a tiny bit to line up that groove that I was just showing you. And once you get that groove lined up, you're going to go ahead and just push the whole unit down into the stock. But this one here, we knew that it was a little bit tight going in because we did want to show the fitting procedure. Now this trigger guard's a little bit tight inside here, so at this point what I'll do is I'm going to remove this action. I'm going to take a file, and you can see that there's a sharp edge a little bit right here on the side. I'm taking this file, a little bit of material, and you're really just taking the roughness off. You're not doing a whole lot, and you just take a couple thousandths at a time. And there's a little on the other side too. Just going to take the sharp edges off of it.
You're not removing that much material. You're just basically shaving off the material that had been drifted. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, maybe 10 thousandths of an inch. It's not very much at all. Now, what I'll do is I'll take the trigger now and I'll place it in the cavity and make sure that it will slide down into the stock. Yeah, looks like we got it. Still a little bit tight, but that's what we want. We do want it to be tight. A tight stock will give you excellent accuracy. Generally, if you have a wood stock and you want this kind of accuracy, you're going to take it to a gunsmith and they're going to remove material and they're going to use some glass bed compound, and you're going to pay a pretty penny to get that done. And those bedded compounds, they actually don't last forever either. Under recoil, it does take damage. What we found is that our nylon material withstands the impact very well. So even after 1,000 rounds, you take the stock off, you see very little impaction anywhere on the stock. It's been spreading the load between the front area and the rear area recoil lugs in the stock. So now that we've removed a little bit of material, there's also some fitting pads here that might need material removal, but that's only if it doesn't toggle over. If it doesn't, we'll just take and shave these two areas a tiny bit until it does toggle. Okay. There are instructions included with it. There's also a video online at Pro Mag Industries on Facebook that you can see the full installation in detail, or we get some close-ups, but of course your video will be much better.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to hang this over the front of the action now. Put it into place. And what we're going to do, you want to make sure that there's nothing's going to damage your sights, a soft surface to put a little bit of weight down on the back of the stock.
And this is the case. We're using the rifle case that we got from Springfield Armory.
Yeah.
For it. So
yeah, if you have a workbench or something, you want to have something soft down that you don't do any scratching or damage to your rifle. And once you get that groove lined up, you're going to go ahead and just push the whole unit down into the stock. And if you'll notice that the trigger is now all in there, but it's not all the way seated. You can see it's got a little bit of friction around the edges here. What you do is you take that fitting block that we originally used in the stock, and we're going to use it as a punch. And we're just going to tap that trigger guard down into the cavity. Once you have it all the way down inside there like that,
yes.
If you don't get it to toggle over, I'll pull this out, remove any debris, and then drive it in again. Make sure that I'm getting to the bottom.
Okay.
So it looks like we're all bottomed out. Go ahead and put some pressure on the back end, and we'll see if we can get this thing to toggle over. Yes, we got it. Now after it's toggled, snap it in place. All right, and we're installed. Simple as that.
Well,
now,
that's awesome, Mike. So basically, we're going to check it out first. Again, it's clear. Safety's working perfectly well.
you want to check for all function before you use it in the field.
Okay, yeah, we're going to check dry fire a couple of times. Yeah. And the safety toggles well, and the mag release is toggling well too. So we're ready to go. I mean, that's simple.
It's that simple. You've got it installed. You didn't have to pay a gunsmith to do any bedding. It's very tight. Over time, once this thing heat cycles and you do a little bit of shooting, when you go to clean it the next time, you'll take it apart and you'll notice that it'll go together a little bit easier than it did this time, because this material will actually form over time to the rifle's action.
So we're ready to rock and roll.
We're ready to shoot.
Why don't we go to the range?
I'm ready.
Well, stay tuned to Gunstock Reviews. We're going to take this rifle to the range. We're gonna shoot it with and without the stock to compare it to each other and see how much better it's going to be.
Yeah, I think you'll be impressed.
And eventually we'll do some new modifications to it. So, Mike, let's go to the range.
All right.
Let's go, man.
Thank you for watching Gunstock Reviews. Please visit our website at www.gunstockreviews.com for more exclusive content. Please visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/gunstockreviews. Your contributions would be greatly appreciated and help us grow our selections and frequency of videos.